Let's see, make sure that this is muted when it comes up. No, 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 no. Any day now. There it is. All right, cool. Hey, welcome to WyzGyz Entertainment. This is your host, Wyman. We've got a special guest today. All father to the comic book. What's the rest of it?
It's Hammer.
Okay. All father to the comic book Hammer. Hey, Justin, welcome. How's it going?
Hey. Woo woo. Thank you.
Totally.
That's awesome.
I was just trying to tell a story real quick. Well, my stories never seem to be real quick. Yeah, so I was helping out a lady who pulled into the apartment complex parking lot. We got two entrances, one that goes up an incline, the other that's like flat. So she pulls over, and then thinking she wants to make a right turn, she does so, but then she gets her car stuck on a concrete divider. So I hung out with her as we were trying to brainstorm as to how we might remedy the situation, short of calling a tow truck driver. And
right.
Some other guys came by and also gave some input, and it was determined that it's a front-wheel drive vehicle, so it would be challenging to, get it to pull back without some kind of assistance. We didn't have any success using a car jack, but they figured, well, all right, so one person hopped in the car and put the car in reverse, and then three of us guys were on the front of the car and pushed it backward. And that dislodged it and got her on her way. So
nice.
That was cool.
That's your good deed for the day, for sure.
Yeah, really. Welcome, Fade. Good to have you as usual. Hey.
Hey. Nice. Well, thank you for having me, Wyman.
Yeah, I was really eager to have you on again because the first one went on so many tangents, as is common on my channel. We didn't spend a heck of a lot of time on your campaign.
That's okay. We're going to make up for it now.
Yeah, really.
So after you, my friend, let me know where to start.
All right. Well, I'd like to start by playing the intro video here.
Oh, my silly intro. Go ahead.
Asgard has fallen. Ragnarok.
Something wrong with my audio? It's really faint. Can you hear it okay?
I can hear it. It's pretty quiet.
On my end, it's very quiet, so I have to jack up my volume on my computer and on my external speakers.
Star must survive.
There we go.
Let's try again.
Asgard has fallen. Ragnarok has come, and the mighty hammer Mjolnir is moving ever closer to Midgard. The hammer seeks a new master, this one in the form of a golden Valkyrie by the name of Star. Born of the wasteland, scrapped burdened with the mighty hammer, Star must survive the insurmountable odds. She must rise to the challenge and take her rightful place among the old gods. Loki, the grinning god and his loyal acolytes, will raise Valhalla to gain the power of Asgard's most powerful artifact.
Oh, shit, look at that guy. Oh.
There you go.
All right. By the way, the logo at the end, pardon my ignorance, but oops. All right.
Castle and Key Productions.
Oh.
That's who it is. Castle and Key is a publishing company that a very close friend of mine, Jason Gonzalez, and a contributor to the book, made. And his company's been around for about 10 years. I've known him since we were about 13 years old. So 35 years. And I decided that when I published Hammer, that I was going to do it through Castle and Key Production.
Oh.
So I went to my friend, asked him about it. He was ready to go. And so that's his logo. And it'll be on all of the books, obviously. Castle and Key is my publishing house. And on top of that, he's my very close friend. So.
Oh, man. How cool is that?
It is cool. It's cool to have a friend who has their own publishing company.
Yeah, for sure. Now,
go ahead.
So they're going to publish you. Are they also going to handle fulfillment, or are you taking care of that?
We're both going to be doing it. So it just depends on how many backers we get. If it's 100, I'll probably just back it and do it myself. If it's more than that, I may require a fulfillment center, or I may require going through my buddy's production house.
Okay.
So, but we'll see. It's a matter of time. I know that currently we have 9 days to go in this campaign. I'm at 39 backers. I'm $2,800 short of meeting my goal. So hopefully we're hoping to change that. We're hoping to change that at some point here. And if not, then it's okay. So apparently, I kind of feel that if I can't make $5,000 off a book, then I probably have no business putting out a book. So
I wouldn't say that. I think there are lots of talented creators out there, and that in general, in the indie space, you're lucky if most campaigns break 3,000.
Oh, really? Wow.
That's just from what I've seen. I'm not saying it's like the rule of law or anything.
Right.
But unless you get a lot of traction, you get a lot of great word of mouth.
Right.
I generally don't see really huge campaigns until you've released your second or third book, because by then you will have developed a reputation. People will come to like you. People will like your product. You've delivered successfully your first one, and people have a clear idea, or they have a solid understanding that you're true to your word. You're going to fulfill. You're going to release your book, and it's going to be quality.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Literally, the book is about 80% done now. I'm working on all the custom fonts that need to be made for the book. So I have Robin Spihar and my editor and head letterist Marco Gali working on that currently. I just got off the phone with them a few minutes ago, and they're supposed to be getting that all together so that we can make sure that everything works properly. So I essentially, by the end of this campaign, I want to be able to have everything except the production aspect done, meaning the lettering. And it should be a turkey shoot for me. Really easy to wrap it up, probably over a weekend or a week. And I could probably even get it off to the printers fast enough to fulfill several months early. So I'm happy with where I'm at. I didn't even pitch this project until I was 70% done. I didn't feel confident that if I had nothing to show, that people would back it. So, and I'm trying not to show too much art because I don't want to give away stuff, you know?
Yeah, you don't want to do any spoilers.
Right. I don't want to spoil any of the story because it's an important story to tell. I actually have a lot of faith in this idea, and it would be a shame not to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, as far as any backers that happen tonight, if we have several backers, I want to raffle off to any of those backers who decide to back tonight. With any of the purchases, any of my tiers, we will raffle off tonight a casting of the head of Loki and an actual base that comes with it. It doesn't matter what tier you back. You can back the $30 tier. You can back the $100 tier. It doesn't matter. But at the end of the night, depending on how many people back, I'll decide whether to drop one or two of these to some lucky backer that actually backs during this live stream, and they'll get this great piece of art that essentially is a casting of the piece I used as reference to do my book. So I do a lot of sculpture as reference, and as you can see behind me right there, I have a whole wall of stuff that I just kind of use as reference. And as I said, if you go and back my book, even if you've backed before and you want to back a second time for a chance tonight to win ahead of Loki, go right ahead. We'll be picking out a name or two from whoever backs tonight, and hopefully we'll get a couple more backers and make this dream some type of reality. I also might have some art, so we'll have to dig that up.
Wow, nice. That's quite generous. Quite generous indeed.
Oh, not a problem, man. It's I want to show the backers that if they have faith in me, I want to give them stuff, and I want to make it worth their while. So anybody who decides to back today, you're going to go into a raffle as soon as we're wrapping this up, and we will raffle off one or two sculptures of the head of Loki tonight to some lucky backer.
All right.
Nice. So what kind of questions do you have about the campaign? What do you want to delve into first, Wyman?
Well, first I did want to ask, how did you come up with the story? Was it something that was brewing in your mind for years, or was it something you just decided one day you'd lock yourself in a room and then commit to writing something and not come out until you came up with a finished piece of work?
Well, it rarely works the second way for me. If I were to lock myself in a room and say I'm not coming out until I make something awesome, I'd pretty much die in that room probably. So I think what happened with Hammer, it became a more serendipitous type thing where something from the past reminded me of something else, and it started it started with the Techno Viking viral video many years ago, like 5 or 6 years ago, and I happened to see it, and it stuck with me. And one day when I was driving down the street like 2 years ago, that video came across my brain, and when it did, it immediately made me question why we don't have Ragnarok comics or comics that are post-apocalyptic where we actually deal with not just the idea that it's post-apocalyptic and everybody has to work and to have a place in society, but to throw in gods that mess with the balance of things. And I always thought that Mad Max did kind of a fair job of kind of leaning on the Nordic mythology, but we're never going to see like Thor show up in Mad Max. We're never going to see Loki or Hel or Odin. So it immediately, when I thought of this a couple years ago, I immediately started to scramble to put together something that would fit my timeline of things. And then over those 2 years, I designed, sculpted, drew, until I got to the point where I was happy showing people stuff like other professionals. And then they said, well, you should make a story out of it. And that's when I built the story out of it. So it was many years of development, but it was only took like an instant for me to think of the idea, right? So when it happened, it came in a flood all at once. And I was able to kind of refine what I was going to do and where I was going to take it from there. And it so seldom are my ideas, by the way. Like sometimes I will have just the brightest idea for an idea for a comic, and I've written down many, but I've never taken it as far as this. Like I want to draw comics and I want to design worlds and I want to do those things, but Hammer spoke to me in a way that nothing else really has. So I'm able to play in the Nordic mythology, knowing full well I most likely will never get to draw Thor in my lifetime, for Marvel or for whomever. I had to play with my own toys. So in doing so, I had to make the world of Hammer. So this allows me to play in that mythology.
Now,
And go ahead.
oh no, you go ahead and finish your thought.
So, playing in that mythology is about as close as I'm ever going to get to that. And I'm allowed to do it in my way. Like, I don't have to stick to how Marvel does things, I always liked, one of my favorite comics was New Mutants, I think Annual 8. And it had, what if like Storm became a Valkyrie and got Thor's hammer? and literally that is my character. What if essentially a Valkyrie of some sort, a woman with lineage that meets the Aesir, essentially gains control of Mjolnir, the most powerful weapon in Asgard, and has to reluctantly figure out what to do with it. She's lived in the wasteland her whole life. She's seen all different types of terrible, terrible, terrible things happen. And to be able to wield a power source and to level the playing field against people like Loki or the old gods, it's something that has to happen in order for the story to progress forward. So she has to become God. She has to become Thor.
Most definitely.
So anyways, yeah, that's where that goes.
Welcome, Stefani Renee. He says hello. Very nice art.
There. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're giving away some statues today. The Head of Loki statue for anybody who backs currently. So if you're interested in backing the campaign today, we're going to raffle off one or two of these to go with your order, and you could easily be going home with one of these at the end of the campaign.
That is so freaking cool. I love it.
I love that thing, man. That thing is great. I enjoyed making it. Hey, Past Master Dan.
Welcome, Past Master Dan. Good to have you. Welcome, Noble Blast.
Yeah, welcome.
Good to have you all here. Please post any questions you have in chat.
Yeah. Send
Yeah.
me some questions, ask some questions. I'll be more than glad to answer.
And also be sure and back Hammer, a post Ragnarok tale by J.Crager. And
And win some free goodies today by backing. That's while we're live, we are going to give away some heads of Loki. So go ahead and back heads of Loki. Yeah.
be the heads of Loki.
Bring me the heads of Loki.
Past Master Dan says you don't need Marvel's version of Thor to explore that mythology.
Oh, that's for sure, man. I absolutely feel you there. So, and I think it could be done a little bit rawer. Like there's a certain amount of Shakespeareanness that goes to Marvel's version of Thor, whereas I'm kind of stripping that of it. You know, we're going to be dealing with George Miller's essentially end of the world with Nordic gods raining down and wanting to make things right. So, or whatever they perceive as right. You know, the old gods don't particularly like humans, and especially Hel. She of all people dislikes that Midgard is an actual running place. You know, like she would rather have that be a land of dead than to allow them to have any type of favor of the gods, like Odin sharing his mighty spear with somebody or something like that. Like if she could stop that stuff, she would. She's bitter. She's a bitter woman.
Now, although you couldn't use the Marvel version of Thor, could you still use the title or character of Thor, since it's literally from hundreds or maybe even thousands of years of mythology?
Yes, I can. I can use my version of Thor as long as it doesn't look like theirs. And even if it looked like theirs, if I called him Thor spelled differently, I might be able to get away with that too. But that being said, we won't see Thor. Thor is dead currently. That's why Mjolnir is at Star's disposal. And if we did see him, he would most likely be a drunk who had a chariot that was pulled by goats, or a car that had goats pulling like the car along, and he would have a thick red beard, and he would totally be drunk, and he'd be an idiot. And yeah, I would just make him the stupidest character. Gods from other mythologies will appear in your story? No other gods will appear in my story outside of Nordic mythology. I think the only one I might make reference to is Heimdall's 9 mothers, and the 9 mothers in Greek mythology is known as Gaia. So if I refer to Heimdall's mother as Gaia, I'm referring to the 9 mothers of Heimdall. So, and that is a weird thing, but I've heard reference over the years in all the reading I've done that the Greeks consider those 9 mothers to be Gaia, the Earth Mother. So she would have been an Aesir also.
Interesting.
Or the 9 mothers would have all been considered Aesirs. So, and I do have a, like, Star's mothers are the 9 mothers, and we make reference to it because her father was a slave, and he he had escaped his imprisonment, and when doing so, he was in the wasteland and he was dying. He was wounded, and he called out to the Earth Mother to come and save him. And the 9 mothers came to him and said, "We can save you, but you have to do something for us." And so he goes, "What?" And they ask him for his seed so that they can create a child. And in doing so, they create Star of Asgard, or Star of Midgard at that time. So she's an Aesir. She's related to Heimdall, and is a part giant, essentially. So I took the Immaculate Conception idea and essentially switched it around. Is all I did.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. Now,
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Go ahead.
how did you even get interested in Norse mythology to begin with?
I've always had a weird, thing about Thor for some reason. I thought it was super goofy. The second I saw the movie, for some reason, is when it really did it for me. Because they were able to take something that was super cheesy and super cartoony looking and make it realistic enough for me to suspend disbelief and to enjoy the movies. Because that had to be the hardest thing to do, was make those movies. Kenneth Branagh, the actor, directed the first Thor movie. And you can tell by the cadence of the actors' voices, how they read lines to each other. I could tell that Kenneth Branagh definitely touched every aspect of that film. And that's the kind of person you needed. Kenneth Branagh was the actor who did Much Ado About Nothing many years ago, which is a Shakespeare play. He's known for his acting in Shakespeare movies and plays and so on. So there's this, I think the thing about Nordic mythology that really draws me to it is that there's this honor system to it, that these characters have huge amounts of honor, much like samurais would, that they're protecting constantly or living up to, and I like that honor system, that the idea that there's these characters that speak with honor, and that always has drawn me in. I loved Shakespeare, and so in doing so, even though I'm not writing Shakespeare with this book, that's what made me love Thor. Like the idea that it was the Shakespearean play on things. And I think it has less to do with the idea that they're Nordic and just the idea that these gods, it could have been Greek gods, it could have been Hindu gods, it could have been anything. But I think I like the Nordic gods because they're so raw and because they're so silly. Like, even if you read mythology, like the older myths of the Nordic gods, a lot of the stories are silly. They're not meant to be taken super, super seriously. The gods do stupid stuff, like Loki cut off Lady Sif's hair, and Thor got so mad he threatened Loki, and then they had to weave her golden hair, have elves weave her golden hair to get her hair back. And Thor almost killed Loki for doing it. It's silly stories like that, or Thor goes to meet some of the older gods, and Thor comes in and they're having a big party, and they say to him, "Well, if you're so mighty and everything, why don't you drink of this cauldron? And if you can empty this cauldron, we'll give you whatever you want." So he starts drinking from this cauldron, right? And they've put a magic spell on the cauldron, and he's actually drinking out of the ocean, and he almost empties the ocean drinking from this magical cauldron. And at the end, they tell him that they tricked him. Like, he tries to lift this paw of this giant cat or wolf that's there, and he could barely lift its tail, and it was him actually lifting the world serpent, where they tricked him. I love those stories. I love the idea that Valhalla is a beer joint LARP convention. Nice. So I enjoy all these really goofy stories, and I find religion interesting too. So I mean, if Christianity is the end all to be all, then there were 4,000 other religions that took place before that one, and all of them are as relevant as that one. So I can just say that the sky is literally Ymir, the giant's brain or head or skull, and that the clouds are his brains, and that, like, this is all part of Nordic mythology. So I try to incorporate all those things when I'm writing stuff about Nordic mythology into it. So I'm going to talk about Ymir. I'm going to talk about all the old gods and what created the world. And the oxen that licked the rock that was salty, that created Odin and his brothers. And like, I'm going to talk about all that stuff. It was all weird. It's all weird rebirth and birth mythologies, essentially. I liken Ragnarok to kind of how Buddhism looks at stuff, or Hinduism, like, where there's a rebirth of things. Yeah, the Earth Mother does go way back, Pastor Dan. That's true. Gaia, yeah, Greek stuff. That's right. And even farther back than that, like, there's a trash religion where somebody had thrown out a baby. One of the first religions was a person finding a baby in a garbage dump back before written language. And apparently that's where the idea of rebirth comes from, that this garbage dump produced this child, where it was more like somebody probably threw their baby out.
Right.
And somebody else came up on it. So they assumed that it came from the garbage, when in when in actuality it may not have. And 100,000 years ago, we wouldn't have known any better, right? So it is what it is. And I tend to lean towards religions and ideas like that. Shades of Moses. Yeah, it can have that. Hey, Yodam.
Yeah, welcome, Yodam Darkstar. Meant to say hello earlier.
Nice. We're going to be giving away some stuff today if you guys want to back the book. So you go ahead and back the book, and I'll be raffling off one of these awesome heads of Loki and a base that comes with it. And you can back at any level, and we'll choose and speak to whomever backs during this time period, and we'll raffle it off and get you guys some free stuff. Free.
Out of curiosity, what is the bust made from?
Wax. Wax. Monster clay. It's a form of wax, is what it is. It's a shoot.
Is it the wax that you use to make the mold? Or
no, molds are made with silicone.
Okay.
So wax is exactly what it is. Like bees can make wax, right? So this is a food grade wax that is fairly hard at room temperature.
Oh.
And I'm able to carve and add onto it by heating the wax. And it's not super hard. Like if I wanted to take this thing and contort it like right in front of you, it'll squish between my hands. But it's hard enough that I can take it apart and hold it in my hand without distorting it and messing with it too much. Like it's just hard enough that I can work with it.
So if you're one of the lucky ones to win to back the book during the stream and win one of the raffles, and you get one of these, you take it home or you receive it, and you happen to display it, say near a candle that you constantly burn throughout the day, is there?
Well, you're not getting the wax version. You're getting a plastic version of it. What you get is a plastic casting of my piece. So I'll make a mold of this. This is my original.
All right.
I'll make a mold of this.
Okay.
And then I'll pour plastic into it, liquid plastic, and it'll harden in about 5 minutes. And then I'm able to pull it out of the mold. And you have a hard plastic that I can throw on the ground that wouldn't break.
Wow.
Or melt.
Is it considered like a PVC type of plastic?
No, it's more like, remember when you used to buy Snap-on cars? Like you used to put little cars together as a kid?
Yeah.
Okay, remember the plastic it was made out of? It was kind of flexible when it was thin, but if it was a thick chunk, it wouldn't move.
All right.
It's like that. It's it's a hard plastic resin that is poured into those molds.
Cool.
So I can even show you an example. Hold on.
All right. Yeah, everybody back this book here. Hammer, a post-Ragnarok tale.
Okay, we're back. So this is a casting
All right.
of a piece I did a long time ago, and it's hard plastic, so I can tap it on stuff. I can drop it, I can throw it across the room, I can put it over my shoulder, and it's always going to stay like this. It's never going to change. So super, super hard plastic. We could smash it up against whatever. I could take a hammer to it if I wanted to. I'm sure I have something around here to hit it with. So, and it doesn't hurt it. It doesn't do anything.
Wow.
That's what's good about this stuff. So you won't be getting my original wax piece. You'll be getting a master cast of plastic that you can drop and forget about it. So, yeah, no, I would never send something so fragile through the mail.
I was gonna say that the bus is melting before my eyes. It's melting. It's melting. What a world.
Yeah, you can. I don't have to use a heat gun. I can. Past Master Dan asked me a question, so I can use a heat gun, but I don't have to. I can heat it up in the microwave, like a canister of it, and then just add it over the top. And then usually I have tools that I rake the top down with. So I'll use loop tools and stuff like this to clean up my surfaces. Usually they're much smaller. They're stuff like this. See how small that is.
Right.
So I use these type of loop tools to clean stuff up. Now, if you want to add more to it, you can heat up the clay you're going to add to it and then add on, or you can heat up both surfaces and add on. I can even take a flame to this. Like if I wanted to take a torch to this and clean up some of the stuff on top of it, it'll liquefy the top of it and give me a nice, smooth, shiny top. So yeah, I can mess with it, and it's just hard enough, as I said, that it doesn't distort, it doesn't get ruined, and I'm able to put it in a mold using silicon and pull out several copies of it. So, and in fact, I believe there's 30 castings available. There's 26 actually left currently of this piece. So if you go and you back my stuff today, you could also win a plastic casting of this. So
nice.
Yeah, I'm sorry I keep repeating myself.
No, you're good.
We get new people.
So over the last 2, maybe 3 years, you've been working on the concept of Hammer, the story, the world building.
Right.
In any way, did the Marvel Thor movies ever kind of influence one way or the other as to where you might go story-wise? Did those movies like reveal things that you realized you didn't care about certain aspects of Norse mythology?
Not so much. Like, I never felt like my stuff would intrude upon theirs, or that their stuff intrudes upon mine. They essentially are telling 100-year-old stories too, so they may make it up, some aspects of it while they go along. Like, so Thor's mother in the Marvel movie is Freya, but in Nordic mythology, Thor's mother is Yor, Jor. That's Thor's mother. And Jor was a giant that Odin slept with, and that's how they got Thor. But in the Marvel movies, we believe that Freya is his mother. I don't do that. I'd rather stick to the mythology of it. So in mine, Yor is Thor's mother. Odin is his father. Heimdall, his mother is the Nine Mothers. Loki is still a trickster, and I can't tell you whether he's an ice giant or not. He might be.
Now, if Yor is a giant and Yor is Thor's mother,
right,
and Odin is Thor's father, does that make Odin a giant also?
I believe Odin is half giant, and so that makes Thor 3/4 giant. So he's 3/4 giant. They're giants, okay? Like in Asgard, the Aesir are considered they're considered to be relatives of giants. And it's really funny because Thor, like primarily in most of his stories, is beating the hell out of giants, like his own kind.
Oh, okay.
It's really funny. Like most of the stuff you hear about in reference to mythology of Thor, it's always him beating up giants and stuff, but he's 3/4 giant, and he's beating up his own kind in the process. So, and it was always funny to me that he would be 3/4 giant, his mother full bred and his father half, that he would beat up his own kind. So that's kind of funny to me. It's really silly.
Pastmaster Dan is asking, are you going to start a merch store like eBay?
Probably not on eBay. I do have a page that you can go to if you're interested in just purchasing art and stuff like that. I have my Hammer page and my Necropolis comics page. You can go to either of those and talk to me about that stuff. I don't typically go to eBay. That's not my gig for some reason. Maybe it's, I don't want too much stuff out there that I have to go from platform to platform to platform. It's too much to take care of all by myself. Since I'm writing, drawing, inking, doing the whole campaign on my own, it's almost more than I can do on my own. That's why I had to have other people letter it. That's why I had to have, some help. It just is way too busy, too hard.
Yeah, it's it's often recommended within the crowdfunding circles that you have a good chunk of your book already made before you go live with your campaign. And, that's good. You did.
I've heard about that. I can, like, as I said, I'm 80% of the way there. Literally, if I push this another 30 days, if we don't meet our $5,000 goal, I have plenty of time to finish the book. I have plenty of time to make sure that everything is ready. And hopefully that'll be the case, that I'm able to do this. I at this point, I don't know. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to, like, pledge my firstborn to somebody at this point. I don't know. So either pledge my firstborn or start. I don't know. You guys tell me. I mean, I'm as new to this Indiegogo thing as anybody else. And although I've done comics for 20 plus years and I've been in the industry and I've set up books for production, this whole idea that I get to control my own destiny on a daily basis is definitely different than me getting paid from a company that just tells me what to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
absolutely. That's a lot of creators say. It gives you a level of freedom and you can focus on your own properties instead of somebody else's. So you're fulfilling your dreams instead of some high-level executive's dreams.
yeah, you know what I call it? I call it playing with your own toys. So that's what I do when somebody asks me, like, to play with their toys. Usually I explain it to them in those, like, terms. Like, why would you want me to play with your toys when I have my own toys to play with? Like, I need to focus on my toys. So this is me playing with my toys. I think it's a beautiful book. The consistency of the art is what I hoped would really sell this. And I think hands down, I'm putting one of the prettiest books out there, but it has yet to meet its audience. I'm having a problem reaching my audience, and I know they're out there. I just don't know how to do it. I'm so used to being able to use Diamond or being able to use, a company to do all that stuff for me, that it's really hard for me to sell a product when I can't reach my audience. And I literally don't want to bow down to somebody else to do it. I want to be able to do it on my own and not have to, like, literally be subservient to anything else.
True.
It's a weird road, man. It's not really, and there's so much politics going on currently in the comic book business that literally it's about what side you lie on. And I don't want to have to join something to make a book that I feel is 100% like solid to make sales. Like, if it can't, like I told you before, if I can't sell $5,000 worth of a product, I probably don't have a business. I probably don't have any right being in the comic book industry. So
I want to go there.
I used to no, I used to sell 20 years ago, man. I used to sell 5,000 copies. Okay, like the minimum print run of any of my books was 5,000 copies. Period. So now I'm at, I don't know, 50 copies, and it's. I really want to be able to reach my audience.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I'm just having a problem finding it. So, and as I said, I don't want to bow down to anybody. I don't want to have to, I just want to do me. And I have I don't want to talk bad about anybody either. Like I notice in this industry, people talk bad about other creators. And
makes no sense.
They may not even fucking know them, excuse my language.
Right, yeah.
You know? And they just shoot from the hip. And I'm not like that. I don't want to sit there and have those type of conversations over the internet. Like, if I want to have a conversation like that, I'm going to call the person up. I look at it like this. Like, if I'm close enough to somebody to have a problem with them, I'll call them up. And if I have their number, that means that I'm close enough to them to be able to have a problem. So if I don't have that person's number and I have a problem with them, it means I don't know them well enough to have a problem with them. So why in the hell would I ever want to deal with anything like that? Like, it seems like right now it's all about who can talk down to who and this and that and the other. Man, I don't want to deal with stuff like that. If we're all going to go to all out war, then just give us battle axes and let us loose in a convention center, you jackasses. So I'm a 6 foot tall fucking 200-pound Viking. I'll be more than glad to wheel a battle axe into somebody's face. So I just don't understand. Like, so that's what it gets down to. Like, I got to find my audience.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be, I want to have a great connection with my fans. I want to have a great connection with my friends who are creators, and all this other BS can just go out the door. Like, unless you're willing to wield battle axes in a convention center, then I don't even want to have that conversation. Like, that's what it comes down to. So, and I've been thinking about this, man. Like, ever since I started this campaign, I get nonstop questions about ComicsGate or this or that. And I have no problems with anybody in the industry. Okay? Ethan's never done anything bad to me. Malin's never done anything bad to me. I don't know these people. So I can't have a problem with somebody I don't know.
Oh, sure.
Right? So it's stupid.
Yeah.
And yes, Max, it is sad that it's not funded yet. It's creating a very stressful situation for me. And I don't deal well with stress at all.
I'm hoping to do my part to change that too.
No, you're awesome. You're awesome, man. You've taken care of me from the beginning. So you had faith in me, and I appreciate it.
Well,
you're back.
You got a good product, and you're passionate about your IP and your intent and your intent to put out a quality product for your fans, and that's all I can ask for.
Well, that's my whole thing, man, is giving somebody the best art I can give them and give them a product and make sure they get their money's worth. That's the other thing. Like, I'm not just giving away 2 books or selling 2 books. It comes with so many extras and I keep adding them to the website. I'm zeroing out. If I reach $5,000, I mean, I'm essentially zeroing out. I just to print everything and get it out to everybody because I want it to reach its audience, because the only way I know it'll do well is if it reaches its audience. And even if I didn't make any money in the first place, doesn't mean I won't down the road. So
True.
And that just has to be how it is. Like I'm just trying to keep it together, man. So it's hard for me to be as optimistic as everybody else is, especially when I'm neck deep in it. You know.
Past Master Dan says, solid stories, solid art, honest dealer will take you far on Indiegogo.
And I'm hoping that's the case. Like, as I said, solid art and solid story, a story everybody can know and relate to. It isn't like I'm trying to tell a story that's so bizarre that nobody's getting it. It's a simple story, right? And I think that is part of the enjoyment of it, is that I'm able to take something so simple and reimagine it.
Do you think there's enough in Norse mythology in your adaptation of it that will require you to put little notes here and there throughout the story, like an asterisk it, and then at the bottom put a brief explanation of what such and such is?
Maybe. I don't know how familiar most people are with Norse mythology outside of, the stuff that we see. Thor's hammer, Thor also wears a belt and a gauntlet that doubles all of his strength, but they don't talk about that stuff.
True.
So there's stuff there, and I may do that. Like, I do make a reference to the golden apple, or the apple of immortality. And so I may have to throw some stuff in the back to kind of bring everybody up to speed. But I think that's remember what I talked about? There's a 4-page section in my book that has writing in it, like prose, so that it literally is a story. Those sections are going to be what adds some of that mythology to stuff, just like what you're talking about. So if I bring up a golden apple in my book, I may write a story about that golden apple on those 4 pages in the back, just to kind of get you guys caught up on it. So there'll be something like that there, some added material that allows you to kind of grab on. Back hammer, that's right. You guys back twice.
Yeah.
Does J.Crager have a promo for Hammer? Promo what? What do you want to see? Past Master Dan.
I wonder if he's referring to the intro video we played earlier.
Yeah, we played an intro earlier.
We can play it again in a few too. I got to play some catch up here. I fall behind in chat often. Stefani says the art is awesome. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you.
Would love to see you go in demand, says Past Master Dan.
Me too.
Max Works says, keep fingers crossed and we'll get the audience. It looks fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I really appreciate it.
Asking for clarification. So after the, 8 days remaining here? 9 days.
So yeah, there's 9 days remaining. It does have another 30 days, but if it doesn't get even close to $5,000, I mean, what's the use in me keeping it up 30 more days at this point?
I think it's still worth it because sometimes it takes a while to find the audience, and when I can only speak for myself, but I only I grew up reading comic books for many years, and I got to a point when I was young where I would go to the comic shop frequently, and I would lay down like $40 a week buying comics. Right. Like 10, 20 books. And but then when things started to change, and not only the price would get jacked up, go from 75 cents an issue to like $1.25, $1.50 an issue.
Right.
That started pricing me out, and then I started noticing there was a trend of things getting ultra serious, and rather than being escapism, it started pulling from the headlines and becoming ultra serious and realistic.
Right.
And that's when I started losing interest. It was about 2 years ago when I started. Actually, no. Actually, it was only about like last September, October, where I discovered ComicsGate, and my passion for comics got reunited. And
Nice.
after checking out these projects that people were coming out with and making it go out on their own, that's when I realized I got to find some way to support these creators.
Right.
I got to find some way to promote their books so they make sure they get funded. And part of my efforts to support and promote them has been to back their books. So I'm frequently backing books, and even some of them I'm kind of surprised that I'm backing. Like traditionally, I'm not a huge fan of horror or zombies, but a bunch of ComicsGate projects are zombies and horror.
Right.
So it kind of opened my eyes up to the possibility that you can have some good storytelling in horror and thrillers.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Beyond just traditional superhero books.
Oh, absolutely. My favorite Edgar Allan Poe story is called The Oval Portrait. It's literally 4 pages long. If you ever get a chance to read it, do so. And it has nothing to do with horror, and it has everything to do with mood. So, in the way he sets a mood. And it's probably the greatest example of horror outside of like Lovecraft and other people like that. If you get a chance to ever read it, it's called The Oval Portrait. And it's literally 4 pages. Just sit down and read it, and you won't regret it. It's one of the Poe's best stories. And it has all the elements of horror to it without actually being super horror related or gory or any of that. It's cool. You might like it.
Sweet. Yeah. Let me see here. Yeah, but where I was trying to get to with that.
Sorry.
No, it's just me and my tendency to be verbose and take forever to tell stories. There were a number of ComicsGate projects I wanted to back, but I didn't come across them until later. Until I started seeing them promoted on other channels, whose creators, whose YouTube channels I enjoyed. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time to, I guess, do the circuit. Comic book creators in crowdfunding, it's kind of like celebrities going on talk shows, nightly talk shows. They're working the circuit and getting their name out and getting more eyeballs on their projects. And because I wasn't up on it, and because I wasn't actively searching out new books via Indiegogo, I was missing out on a number of projects that I wish I could have backed at the time.
Right.
And, so, in my opinion, from my perspective, it helps to have projects in demand because it gives me that extra little bit of time to back it. And then you'll also come across a certain demographic, if you will, of people who are really excited about your project, but because they don't get paid until the next month, they can't afford to back it this month, but they will have a chance next month when they get their finances in order. So
nice.
You got different situations, if you will.
Yes, that's totally true. Yodam Darkstar says that we should refresh the campaign page, and yes, stick to it. 30 more days is a lot of time. I believe you can make it.
Yeah. Let's do this real quick. So we're at 2202. Okay. If I could just get on the right stream. Right screen.
That's okay.
Note of this on my other window here.
Let's see.
All right, we got another backer.
Holy shit.
So we're at 2652 at 40 backers. So that's 53% of
Wow.
goal. So we are past the halfway mark, all in all.
Was that Yodam who did that? I gotta look.
Awesome.
Hold on.
And
I'm gonna look.
while you're looking, I'm going to catch up on chat here.
You go ahead.
Past Master Dan says, "Just do you, and leave that at the door, and we cool."
Nice. Thank you, sir.
Don't give up. As long as you fulfill, success will follow. Yeah, that's fact. A lot of people are reluctant to back a book on Indiegogo or any indie books that are crowdfunded in the first place, simply because they don't know the history of the backing. You know, people are accustomed to receiving their DC and Marvel books on a regular basis. But with crowdfunding, you know, it's kind of hit and miss sometimes. And that leads to distrust and concern. Right. So, you know, they have a healthy caution.
They do. Hey, it looks like Yodam Darkstar bought a Dragar. He bought one of my big sculptures.
Oh,
Let me show him which one he just got. Hold on.
Yeah. All right.
So he spent the $400. I really appreciate it, buddy. So you have so much stuff coming to you to Israel. I know that's where you are. Hold on one second. Let me show you which one you got.
Yotam is freaking awesome.
So here we go. This is the one. This is the one I'll be sending you, Yotam. So this guy, this is the first one I made. It has movable parts on all of it.
Dang, that's so cool.
You'll be getting this, buddy, all the way in Israel. Thank you so much.
Jeez.
I appreciate it. So we're over 50% now, I believe.
Yeah.
This Dragar will be yours. They are featured in my book also. So I took a bunch of pictures of them so I could use them as reference. And I really appreciate it. So you'll be getting this, Yodam. And I believe last time you got another head of Loki. You won. You won art.
Oh.
And then you bought the artist edition. So guess what? I'm gonna send you a head of Loki.
Whoa.
with your stuff, buddy.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much. So Yodam Darkstar has a head of Loki coming with his Dragar sculpture.
Oh yeah.
So awesome. Ever closer to where I need to be. So thank you so much for purchasing this bad boy.
Man. Yeah. Oh jeez, that's so cool.
That was really cool. I'm very stoked. So Yodam rocks, man. You're the man. So you have art coming your way. You have that special Star of Asgard piece that I painted coming your way that you won last time.
Whoa.
You bought the Dragar, and you have a Loki coming your way. Man, you just made my day. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Wow. So we're over 50% with 9 days to go in this campaign.
Oh my gosh.
We'll be adding another 30 afterwards. And I really appreciate Yoda backing me all the way out there in Israel.
Yeah.
So if I never showed him, I have a bunch of Hebrew tattooed on me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have Hebrew tattooed on me.
What does it read?
This says God on it.
Oh.
So this is Elohim.
All right.
And then I have Aramaic on my hand.
So is it Aramaic, or that's the language? Or
This is Aramaic, which is like Hebrew.
all right.
And that says those who fell,
Oh, wow.
like fallen angels.
Passmaster Dam is a fan. Stefani
Dude.
Renee says, awesome art. Don't give up, bro.
Not going to be given up. Just need to make it happen so that I can feel vilified and fulfilled that I'm actually doing what I'm supposed to do with my life.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. You are in the right place. I promise you that. Passmaster Dan says, the worst time to sell bicycles is in the winter.
I agree. The worst time to sell a bicycle is in the winter. It's like selling ice to Eskimos. Do you know how much shipping to Germany would be? It depends on what you're buying. I think it's relatively cheap, but I might be able to help you out. So if you're interested in purchasing something, I can throw in a bunch of extras and goodies for you to make it worth your while. Max Works.
I wonder when you created the campaign and you added in the campaign the tier that included the drug. Is it pronounced
Dragar?
Dragar. When you included that, did Indiegogo give you some sort of chart or table that showed you how much shipping typically costs for certain dimensions and certain weights?
I had to look up most of that stuff. So what I ended up doing was looking up stuff per pound and per size, essentially. So it's usually $3 a pound, about.
All right.
When you're mailing books, right? But when you're going out of the country, usually they want you to carry some type of priority or tracking, and that usually is more expensive. That's why it's so expensive in Germany and other places in the world, the European Union. I tried to keep everything fairly cheap so that when people order it, they get as most bang for their buck, and that's kind of why I ended up throwing more stuff in there. Because I want people to be happy. I want to feel like they're special and they're getting something.
Oh, I mean, just the very fact that you're hand making all this stuff, all this art, all this, the book itself,
right?
The sculptures. I mean,
right.
That's enough to make anyone feel special. That's so freaking cool. Anything that you can make with your hands is so. It's like a gift, in and of itself.
Yeah, I mean, there's a certain amount of enjoyment that comes with doing my art and designing things and stuff. Like I enjoy that aspect of creation. And as far as, I want to answer Max Works. If you want to draw something for my project, Max, and you can draw, feel free to hit me up. So hit me up on Facebook, Jason Alistair Crowley Crager, or hit me up on my campaign, or email me at vonderabo at gmail.com. VONDURABO at gmail.com. Max, go ahead and send me whatever, and we can talk, and I'd be more than glad to, if you're an artist, put some stuff in my project if we make it this time or the next time around. Hey, Jason, Unhinged Entertainment in the house.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
I'm gonna catch up on some chat because I'm taking forever to get through all of these. Let's see here. I'm gonna play the video again shortly.
Oh yeah, you should play that video again.
So don't worry, Past Master Dan. I'm gonna play the promo video again. Max Work says we need to get you on more streams for sure. I don't know if let's see, you've already been on Shay's, right?
So I have a few lined up right now. So tomorrow or Friday morning, I have a 8 o'clock, I believe, live stream that I'm doing with a guy named the Nerdist or something like that. I forgot his whole name, and I apologize.
Is it Nerd?
I'm not sure who it is.
Okay, the Nerdist. All right.
I doubt it. It's someone else. It's not the Nerdist. But then Sunday I have Shay, and I think that's afternoon. And then Tuesday of next week is Charlie London.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Okay. And then at some point I have to bug Dan Fraga. Like,
oh, hell yeah.
I realize he's been busy. Me and him have been talking. Essentially, the last time he pimped me on his show was taken down right before I could go on. So we have yet to really do a kind of launch through Fraga and see what kind of numbers those produce and stuff. And I'm letting him do his thing because he just had hernia surgery.
Yep.
I know how much that sucks. I don't want him to worry about nothing. And he's helping me as far as I'm concerned. Like it's not the other way around. I'm not doing anything that makes his career move forward. He's helping me.
He's pretty cool. Yeah.
He is a good guy. I've known him since the Extreme days. He's a good guy.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. Other ones you may or may not have been on. Mandy Summers, who often co-hosts with John Malin.
Oh, I've never been on her show. I'll have to check that out. I did send some stuff to Malin, but Malin never got back to me.
Okay.
And he's probably busy. He has a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, I realize
how crazy everything is, and he has to. If he wants to, he can hit me up. If he doesn't think I fit, I totally understand. All I'm doing is trying to put out something that people can enjoy.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to, being on Charlie London's show. I'm looking forward to Shay's show. I'm looking forward to here. Let me go see if I can find that other one. Let me find that other one real quick so I'm not sitting here remiss about his name for the next hour, or whatever. Give me 1 second. I'll look it right up right now. Because it'll bother the crap out of me. For sure. Here we go. His name's Chris Evans. And at Kino Subway.
Oh, all right. Chris is cool. All right.
So 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday. I'll be having coffee with him in the morning.
Oh, sweet. All right. Yeah, that'll be good.
I hope so.
Let's see.
Nice. Charlie London is sweet. She may have Call Me Mark on there with her. He's cool. Yeah, you'll do well on Fraga's stream. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I love Fraga, man. So he's a good guy. He's one of my favorite creators.
I'm coming. Let's see here.
That's okay.
Wet sticks are where to start. Don't be a wet stick.
We already did that one. Keep going.
If it wasn't for Graham Nolan, I'd love to be watching this. I'll catch it on replay. All right. Catch you later, man. Thanks for being here.
Nice.
Psychological thriller. Hi guys, refreshing. All right, yeah, that was earlier.
That was way earlier.
And yes, stick to it. 30 more days is last time I believe you can make it. Stefani says more 30 days. Wow, man, awesome. Nice. Got me a sculpture. Yay.
Yes, he did. You're the man.
Now with over 50% off, you have to add 30 more days. Yep. Yeah, everyone's congratulating Yotam Star. That's so cool. And oh yeah, my pleasure. Wow, so cool. I love your art.
Thank you so much, Yoda.
Past Master Dan says, yeah, I saw that on Shay's stream. Yep. Congrats, fantastic. And mind blown. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see. Oh, shoot. All right.
Thanks, Jason. Ah, God, what's that for? I don't know what that's for, other than me being nice and giving him more stuff.
Yeah, that must be it. That and the very fact that he got the sculpture. Yeah.
I'm super stoked, man. I put them up there hoping somebody would love them as much as I loved making them. And they're so much fun to make. They're made in the vein of how all the Star Wars stuff for the movies back in the day was kit bashed. So all those wonderful ships you saw were other people's fucking toys that they just glued together. And that's essentially what I kind of did here. And I love it very much. So
it's a great idea.
Well, yeah, it's fun, man. It's kind of freeing. There's a certain thing that's freeing about taking junk or little parts and gluing them together and making something else out of them.
Oh yeah,
it's just as fun.
Yeah. Now you're offering 3 of the excuse me, 3 of those Dragers on the campaign. Do you really have like 5 or 6 of them in your?
I have 3 of them currently. It wouldn't take me long to make another one. So it isn't something that takes me a long time. I could probably make another one in about a day.
All right.
So what I do is build a super sculpey body or epoxy clay body, and then I cook it so that it becomes hard. And then I end up getting all the parts that I want to glue to it and paint and everything, and I get those all together and I start gluing it all together, and then I paint it all rusty looking, and you usually end up with something that ends up looking super old but realistic, and it usually works out pretty well. So I enjoy making them because they're so spontaneous, and you never kind of know what you're going to get as you put more stuff together.
The bits and pieces that are like bluish in color, are those intentionally painted that way, or are those the extra kit pieces that you're adding?
So they were intentionally painted that way.
Oh, all right.
I intentionally painted all those parts that way. Okay. And it was to kind of offset the idea that they're this reddish orange, rusted, and I wanted them to have a little bit of color on them to kind of stand out. They don't particularly care what they put on themselves. Like they have no fashion sense. So I just want them to kind of look uniform and the same kind of shapes, I guess. So when I'm building them and stuff, I initially think, this thing's 1,000 years old. And it should look like it's rusted out and falling apart, and everything attached to it should be. And the only reason why I give it color is to kind of move your eye around on the piece. And it allows you to kind of love it. Do a marquette of your lead character. She will sell. I already have one, past Master Dan. You want to see her? Here, he asked me, let me go dig up my sculpts. Hold on.
All right.
What's up, Hunter?
Just waiting for you to end the stream so we can get my computer and set in my room.
Gonna be a while.
Okay.
So I have two. Here's the first one, and this is a bust of my character,
Oh, cool.
right?
So cool.
So, and I think I need to fix her hair and put like a jacket on her. And then my first design of her was this. And she kind of has this armor on her legs that looks all silly. But, you know, originally when I designed her, this is what she was. Like I just broke her down into body parts and started sculpting her.
Wow.
So I've sculpted her a couple of times, and I have yet to make castings and stuff for that yet,
Okay.
but I can.
That would be so cool.
I always thought that the Dragar or the other designs would sell better, because essentially this is just a girl, right? Like here, it's a girl. That's great. But,
But people want the
people want
antagonist
weird
well.
stuff, right?
Yeah, they'll want the Dragers for sure, but they'll also want the protagonist, the hero of the story. At least I would.
I mean, if people do, I mean, if we get to a certain point, I might consider finishing this up and actually casting her.
Right.
Like if we can get up to the 5,000 range, of course, I'll just keep throwing stuff in.
Yeah.
And we can pass master, Dan. I mean, we can tie something into a promotion tier 4.
Yeah.
If a little, yeah, it would be cool. I might be able to throw that on there. So how about this? When I get to the 30-day point, let me work on this for the next couple days and kind of mess with it. See if I get happy with it. I'll add another tier that we can get the books, get maybe a drawing, and get one of these.
Wow.
So, and we'll see what we can do it at. It'll probably be around the same price as the Loki head, so probably $80. It'll be a single piece, and it'll be able to sit on your desk or whatever. So we'll see.
Wow. That'll be a trip.
Nice. That'll be fun. I could do that.
On the Drager pieces, you mentioned that you take pictures of it as reference material.
Correct.
Are they the types of pieces that you could actually cast molds of and then fabricate into stitch?
You know, considering how much stuff there is on them, I would say no. I wouldn't want to cast something like this because there would be too many parts involved.
Right. I was just kind of thinking there's like a reference statue, so you didn't have to rely wholly on photos.
That's correct. Like it's almost like a sketch for me. When I'm able to use these things for lighting and stuff like that if I ever need to use that type of reference. Like when I've been drawing Loki recently, I've had to use that reference because the shape of his head and the shape of the design on his face is really specific. And if you can't draw it right, it'll look funny. And so I've noticed that I had to sculpt some of these things in order for me to accurately draw them because I'm just not that good. You know, like I have to use reference even if I have to sculpt it myself.
Right.
And it's just part of me, unfortunately. I didn't realize until I was older that I was a sculptor and that I'd been trying for years and years and years to draw. And I drew just fine. In fact, I drew well. I been a comic book artist for years and years and years, but when I taught myself to sculpt, it was like, you dummy, you've been a sculptor the whole time, and you've been forcing yourself to draw when you full well know that you should be sculpting. And once I started sculpting, it allowed me to open up a little bit and be able to now have my own reference, be able to go back to it and photograph it or do whatever I need to do to make me a better artist. See you, Past Master. Thank you for asking. So, you know, it's one of those things. I'm not like, I'm able to draw whatever, but if I have reference, it'll always be better. If I can make my own reference, it'll always be better. There's no way to get around that for me. Nothing can beat real life. So in Max, let me get to Max Works real here. If Max Works wants to do something for me, go ahead and reach out to me on Facebook or wherever. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Past Master Dan says, I'm 59 and my passion has been reignited to produce comics in any way I can to make them fun again. Yep. Unhinged Entertainment says, psyched about the book.
Jason backed me right away, and I'm super, super happy. Cool. Do we have a link? Sorry, out there, I love dogs. Hold on one moment. We have a link for what we're doing right now?
Oh, your campaign?
Yeah. Well, not my campaign, but for the live stream. Is there a link for the live stream?
Oh, yeah. Here.
Let's see. Okay.
Let me refresh this. Okay. What the heck? Oh, it's up there. Ha ha ha. Boomer.
Is it up there? I'm gonna write. Ooh, hold on. Try again. Couldn't play video.
Are you able to copy and paste it from the private chat? Oh, it's up there.
I'm able to do it. It's okay. I just wanted to hit up another person. They kept asking where the link was, so I just sent it to Patrick Ty.
All right.
There's his link. He can hopefully find me now. And of course, it's the second time he will have missed this podcast. He had asked last time, and I didn't put the link up for some reason, and or whatever happened, because I'm new to this. And just a second ago, I looked, and he had been, where's the link, damn it?
Oh, no.
So I'm like, there's the link. Like, enjoy. So there's the link. So I hope he enjoys us for however long we're going to be on.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so let's see here. Past Master Dan suggested the idea of a fan art page, maybe at the end of the book.
Right.
I always have a lot of fun when I see a fan art section at the end of a book, because it's I enjoy watching people's takes on other people's characters,
Right. Well, I do have a few people who are producing art for the book. I wouldn't call them fans. I would call them like working professionals. Like Dan Fraga, like Alex Tuez, like Michael Acker, like Jason Lennox, like Marco Gali. They're all working professionals. So outside of, I guess, being fans. And, they're producing art for the book as pinups and stuff like that. So that'll be added. And Max, if Max jumps in there at some point, and Jason also from Unhinged Entertainment, we have been talking. So, and he is doing a hammer piece of Loki for me.
Ooh, cool.
So we might do something with that, like make a card out of it or something. I already did a piece for his Unhinged book.
Nice.
So I just sent it to him today. He's going to hold on to it, he said, possibly for the next book or something special because he loved it that much.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. He was super, super excited. He used so many curse words to explain how much he loved it. Like, it was like F and A, F and this, love it. And I was like, okay, you're the man, dude. Thank you. That's awesome.
That's a good seal of approval.
Yeah, I really enjoyed doing it. I did it last night, kind of like on a whim.
Oh wow!
And I did a double page spread for him last night.
Whoa, nice.
And it's one of his Omni, and I dealt with the shadows. Like, the one thing about his character is that it would create an interesting shadow, like over the face of the character if the light was directly overhead. And what you'd see is that big eye in the center, and those little eyes, the real eyes, would be kind of hidden, and then that shape of that face. So I just kind of messed with that stuff, and it actually came out really nice. I hope he actually colors it or does something with it outside of that, but it's big enough that he can make a double page 11 by 17 or 22 by 17 print of it.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, it's a big piece. It's pretty. I like it.
Wow, that's cool. Max Ward says with the girls you'll get more backers for sure. Yeah.
Maybe. Hey Max, no, Loki's not off the table. So I said I was gonna give away more than one Max work. So I gave one to Yodam because he purchased a $400 Dragar statue. So no, it's not off the table. By all means, jump in there, back my project.
Yeah.
I might just give everybody who backs something extra today. So
Cal.
Yeah, man. It doesn't cost me too much to redo or to do these things for you guys. So I don't mind.
Yeah, Unhinged Entertainment says Charlie's London is a sweetie and she may have Kami Mark on with her. He's cool. Yeah, you'll do well on Frega's stream. Malin is tough to get a hold of. Yeah. Malin just finished the filming of Graveyard Shift 2. He literally just launched Graveyard Shift 3. So it might be hard to get some time in with him. Yeah, those are the two that we were thinking of. Nerdist and Nerdrotic. Yeah, GS3. Max Works says I'm an artist. Jason WyzGyz can ensure that. Remember the test painting of the Samurai Priest from the Absolute stream?
I do.
Let's see here. Kino Subway's awesome. Yep. Chris is an awesome guy. Yep. Unhinged Entertainment says he'll probably use the Max Works piece as a trading card on the next campaign. It'll be red and look sweet.
Nice.
Tattoo. Oh. Yotam was remarking on the tattoo.
What tattoo? Which tattoo? My tattoos? Oh, my tattoos. Got it.
Crager did an Envy piece that is going to blow your minds. Keep your eyes peeled for Absolute Book 2 and have your face melt.
It would probably make a really good cover. Like it, because the way it's symmetrical and everything else, like literally it would be the coolest cover. Because it's a giant gatefold cover. It's pretty cool. Like when I did it, it was all about the lighting. I was way into just lighting it to make it look different than, like, have a different silhouette than what it would normally have.
Yeah, definitely go follow Crager on Instagram.
Yeah, Crager Jason, Crager Jason. Look me up.
Yes. Yes,
No, no.
Too bad you can't tie that into a promotion. All right, yeah, already covered that.
Oh yeah. So Max Work said, no, I'm in art. Yodam has all the right to get it. Yeah, I mean, I have some art I can give away too, if you're interested in that, Max Work. So I have a piece sitting around here. Let me grab one. Give me a second.
I know I'm real late past Master Dance. I'm sorry. Thanks for being here.
Ooh, look what I found. So I was doing this the other day. And I've yet to wrap it up, but that's Star of Asgard after she's become a god.
Oh.
And yeah.
And
So,
she's already wielding the hammer and everything, right?
oh yeah, the hammer's giant. Like this is the handle for her hammer.
Okay.
And the hammer is infinitely large. So think of like Kirby drawing it and it being like the size of a boulder.
Oh, okay.
She's able to wield it with like one finger and spin the thing around.
Nice. That's so cool. That is awesome work.
Thank you.
Unhinged says sculpting is way more difficult than drawing. You have to work in 3 dimensions.
It's easier for me. Working in 3 dimensions is much easier than working in 2 on a flat piece of paper. Everything can go wrong on a flat piece of paper. Whereas if something's wrong on my sculpture, I either need to remove or add more clay so the lighting doesn't change. Like it's really different. So I see them as 2 different ways of doing things, but it's much easier for me to sculpt than it is for me to draw, even though I've been drawing for 30 years. It seems weird. I misunderstood. You said Jason is doing a Loki piece. That is what I meant. If I would do a Loki, there'd be too many Loki artworks. It's okay, man. Do a gas mask piece. Do a giant, one of my Yodams. Go to my Max Work. Go to my campaign. Flip through the art. See what you like. And then draw it.
And Unhinged said earlier, really nice, in quotes. Dude, it's fucking sick. It'll stay black and white since the book is black and white. Plus, I wouldn't want to ruin it with my shit coloring. Lol.
No, I'm sure it would be fine. And Stephanie Renee, you can, of course, draw something and send it my way. Please, by all means, go ahead and go through the campaign. If you like something, hit me up on Facebook, hit me up here. You can even reach out to Wyman, and I'm sure he could direct you to me.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I'm all down. So whatever you guys want to do, if you want to do some art, if you want to, contribute and add to things, and I'll see what I can do with your stuff. So we'll make it all go.
Sweet. There was a, let me see, wrong screen. You posted Patrick Ty in the chat. Was that is that a handle in Twitter or a user in Facebook?
That was a user on Facebook.
Oh, okay. All right. I was going to see if I could find that person and share the link there. Or did you already share the link?
By posting his name, he should be able to see that I posted his name in this link. So he should be able to show up. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. By putting his name, it'll send him a notification and saying that I posted his name up inside a live stream.
Oh, interesting. All right.
And he should be able to go to it, and it should bring him here.
Okay, hopefully that works. I didn't think that, at least on my end, it didn't look like it turned into a hyperlink, but it must work differently then. Okay.
Well, I did it from my phone, so even though you didn't see it as a hyperlink,
Gotcha.
like where you could press on it and go to him,
Right.
I bet it'll let him know that I put his name somewhere.
Yeah,
So,
because this is supposed to be broadcasting to Facebook as well, so
right,
that should be good.
right.
So let me go ahead and play the intro movie. Oh,
Cool.
actually, was it Past Master Dan who was asking for it? Oops.
Yeah, I think he's gone. So.
All right, well, I'm going to play it anyway.
Okay,
Even though I am late.
that's okay.
Asgard has fallen. Ragnarok has come, and the mighty hammer Mjolnir is moving ever closer to Midgard. The hammer seeks a new master, this one in the form of a golden falcon named Star. Born of the wasteland, a scrapper now burdened with the mighty hammer, Star must survive insurmountable odds. She must rise to the challenge and take her rightful place among the old gods. Loki, the grinning god and his loyal acolytes, will raise Valhalla to gain the power of Asgard's most powerful artifact. Hell.
Yeah, super over dramatic on my part, and weird cadence to my voice, and yeah, super weird on my part. And you know what? I was thinking of actually doing it in like a silly voice and seeing if I could kind of make fun of it a little bit to try to kind of be humorous. But I ended up going with not being humorous at all and just trying to be really serious. And I think he came off very dry and stagnant. And yeah, I guess it works for the book. But wouldn't you rather like hear me do a really like thick like English accent or something like for the book or something like "Welcome to Asgard," you know, and just get really into it, like. You know,
that might have worked possibly, but I mean, I like what you did, but I think I don't know what the deal is. Maybe it's on my end, but your voice comes through really low, even though I have my computer volume at max, and I had to jack up my external speakers to max volume in order to easily hear you.
It would be funny to just have me rattling off stuff like, a giant Valkyrie will come and take hold of the mighty hammer Mjolnir, and we shall move ever forward into the great desolation of our lives.
Hey, that'll work. There you
go. No.
There you go.
I can come back here and grab my hammer and bang it at you. Bang you with the hammer.
Score.
Right?
Max Work says, let me help you with the trailer next time. Then you don't have the Power Director watermark there.
Right, that's true too. You know what else I was going to do? I have a friend who has Thor's helmet from the first Marvel movie. I was literally going to go ask him if I could borrow it and throw on like a big red cape and just come down like I'm Odin. Buy my book. Buy it now. And yeah, see, more seriousness, please. I agree with Max Works. It has to be serious. It has to be like super Shakespearean, not silly. Super. So see, more serious, please. No, not serious. I shall beat you with my hammer.
You can have the serious trailer, and then you can have a variant trailer that's more comedic.
Give me 1 second, okay, bud? Hold on 1 sec.
All right.
Driving, turning to get close.
Got it. Okay. I'm back. Sorry about that.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
No problem. I am so happy. I can't believe we were able to sell one of these little sculptures. Like I am so super happy that this is finding a home. And and it's I never thought I've had fans all throughout the world, from like Norway to France to Australia to Germany, but I've never had anybody in Israel get something from me. So I'm super stoked to be sending something to Israel. That makes me happy. Like I finally get to get into more places on the planet.
Well, yeah, that's a trip. It really is.
And that type of stuff has always blown my mind. The fact that, I'm an artist and that I can have art all over the world. And that blows my mind. I think I even have some in Sweden, which is nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's good. That's always good.
Oops.
No, man, we're doing good. Have you refreshed that yet? Let's see if we're up to anything else. If anything has happened, usually backers tell us if they back, so they want to win all the free stuff.
Yeah, usually they will.
And I'm down for that. Like I'm down for free stuff, giving free stuff to people because, it's worth it.
Yeah,
It's worth it for me. For this validation. Now you have a fan here in Brazil. Thank you so much. I love Brazil.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Nice.
It looks like let's see, where are we at? All right, we're still at 40. All right, so, but still, it's 53% of the way through.
Hey, man, we jumped $400+, so that to me is a win. So as far as I'm concerned, so we're ever closer to where we need to be. I have 9 days to get there, or more. I mean, that's fine too. But I sure would like to be able to beat my goal in the next 9 days.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it could only get better. Like I'm going to change some of my goals when we do decide to push for the next 30 days too. So that I can make sure that we hit some of those postmarks that I've already put in the sand. I want people to be able to get this extra stuff.
Absolutely. Unhinged Entertainment says, "Yeah, I give out stuff because what am I going to do with all my art dust collection?"
Mine does too, Jason. I can't tell you how much art I have sitting around my house that literally is collecting dust. Yes, we jumped $400. Yodam Darkstar purchased a Dragar sculpture. So the very first one I ever did, Yodam has purchased this. So it's going to go to a good home in Israel. And I'm very happy.
Out of curiosity, are those statues like individually numbered in any way?
They are on the bottom in the order in which I made them.
Man, so, it's going to be worth the most out of all of them.
It is the first one. Yes, it is the first one. And then the other two were made out of necessity, okay? Because I had so much interest in the sculptures in the first place, like even though nobody bought one till now, there were people asking about them. And when they asked about them, more than one person asked, and they were like, well, I want to buy it. Well, I want to buy this one. And I was like, well, how about if I make more than one? So I made 2 extras, and of course I added them to the book so I could, make sure that they are referenced properly in the book, and so that you're buying something that not only comes from the book, but I designed it myself specifically for the book. So in the past month, I've done 2 more. And those are the other 2 I ended up putting up. So 3 in all on the campaign. At one point, we may raffle one off. So it just depends. Maybe on Shay's show or Fraga's show, maybe we will. But I'd like to reach, more backers than this. So
yeah, absolutely, by all means.
So it's just a matter of getting there. So we're doing good so far. I really appreciate Dark Star hooking us up. So that really made my night, and I'm super able to probably go to bed tonight without stressing at least for another day. So that's
good gracious. We definitely don't want you stressing out.
No, this stuff stresses me out, man. I don't even know what to do besides stress out about it, because it's like putting yourself out there, man.
Yeah.
And then it's like getting a flat tire, and all you need is a jack, and everybody's driving by seeing you have a flat tire, but nobody's stopping with a jack. And all I need is a jack to make it go. And at this point, that's kind of how I feel about it. It's the only way I'm going to be able to do this is with fans, with fan help. And if you want a good comic, you want one that's well drawn, you want good stories with good art, back a project that's gonna become something better. Thank you, Yodam. Have a good night.
Yodam.
Oh, now Max is leaving.
Oh, Max is leaving?
Yeah. Bye, Max. Bye, Max. Thank you from Brazil. Right? No, that wasn't Brazil. Thank you for wherever you're from.
All right, take it easy, Max Works. Good to have you.
Damn. Sun is coming up. It's 5 a.m. wherever Max Works is.
Is it really?
Wow, 5 a.m. Where the hell are you? Holy moly. Wow. Okay.
It's over there. Okay.
That's okay. He can hit me up.
Gotta go and listen to Christian for 3 hours or so. Have a great night. We're fun, and we'll contact you, Jason. Sweet. Germany. Oh, all right.
Germany. The Deutschland.
Yeah.
Lass das Deutschland.
Unhinged says, I love this story. I never thought of what would happen after Ragnarok.
Right. It's, well, in my world, it's secular. So, at some point, got to go eat dinner. See you later. Yeah, so my Ragnarok is secular to me. So it occurs over and over and over again, and things are reborn, and this isn't the only story of Ragnarok. Like, there could be many more. At some point, Star could give up her mantle as Thor and give up that and hand it back to the original Thor. Like, because Thor could be reborn. Even if he's dead now, since everything's secular in my book, if I were to draw it for 100 issues, at some point I would bring back other gods, for sure.
Sweet.
Nice. Wow, we're going on 2 hours here, Wyman.
Yeah. Let me see, am I showing it right now? Yeah, I am showing it. On this piece, did it take a long time to get all the background effects done? Or
the rendering on that background probably took me about 20 minutes. Yeah, because it was digital, I had already drawn that figure in and everything, and I had drawn in some lightning, like as a sketch, going down to the hammer, and then I just kind of built up that background around it. So, and what's really funny is if you look at the piece, do you notice that the shape around my character is in the shape of a star?
Oh yeah, it is.
and her name is Star.
Yeah.
So that happened accidentally. It wasn't an on purpose type of thing. It just happened to happen. And when it did, I decided to keep it because it kind of put all the focal point on her.
Right.
Now, the background was really easy. It seems like it's much more detailed than you think it is, and it's really not.
Okay, all right.
So it's a lot of hand-thrown lines and erasing and some splatter. You notice that all the splattery effects that make everything kind of push back or forward. Yeah, that stuff is really simple to do on the computer. I was able to do the background on her in 20 minutes. It probably took me longer to do the birds than it did for me to do the background.
Damn, those birds are good though.
They are.
I was trying to visualize how I might accomplish that through traditional means. I wasn't thinking of doing it digitally. So
Right.
I was trying to figure out how you get that type of effect and not take it forever in a day to complete.
Oh, that would be so. It's much harder to do physically than it is to do. Yeah, I agree. It can be done. Like if I were to print it out in blue line, I could ink that up no problem.
Gotcha.
Because I'm used to inking that way.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't be so much of an issue. But if we're creating it like out of pencil for somebody else to ink,
Right.
they may not interpret it that way.
Right. Now,
So go ahead.
I'm not sure if I'm misunderstanding, but isn't the hammer supposed to be really big and heavy looking?
It is a
Or
normal. No, it's a Warhammer. So the one thing I did, the one thing that makes Marvel and their Mjolnir hammer special is that it's oversized. And part of the story is that it has a handle that was broken, giving it a smaller handle than what it should really have.
Oh, all right.
So that's part of the mythology, the Nordic mythology, is that the handle's smaller. But they never said that what the size of it was. So what I did was when I started developing the character, I wanted to give her that giant hammer, that like the one I put in her hand here, like Thor's hammer, right? But I also didn't want to infringe upon Marvel's big giant hammer.
Right.
So what I did was I looked up what real Viking warhammers looked like.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And instead of making it a giant hammer, I gave her a real warhammer, something that would be more like a Viking would carry.
Okay.
So the only difference, her hammer is just like a normalized Viking warhammer. The difference is that it shoots lightning off of it, and it can fly, and it can come back to her.
Right.
And yeah, so it's not infinitely heavy like they have it in the Marvel universe, because that's part of the Marvel universe.
Right. I just had some weird theory that it was physically, visually larger than even Marvel's version of the hammer.
No. Well, so remember how I told you there's two stories in my book, my Ragnarok post-apocalyptic one, and then the one that goes cosmic?
Right.
So the cosmic version of her hammer is ginormous.
Oh, okay. Right.
So if you'd like to go back to my campaign, I can scroll you down to show you how big her hammer gets when she becomes God level. Keep going. It's right here. Stop. Go back up.
Oh, there
right
it
there.
is. Oh,
now look behind her how big that hammer is.
Yeah.
So that's her hammer when she goes cosmic. And it has to do with, Jack Kirby used to have things that went to infinity. Like he would create characters and powers that went on, like were giant sized everything. So that's what this hammer embodies. The infinity of being cosmic, like Omega level hammer.
Right.
So the hammer's ginormous when she becomes this. But normally, when it's on Earth with her, it looks like a normal Viking warhammer that shoots lightning.
Ah.
Right. So it changes. It can change. But remember, these stories, the 70s story, the one that we're looking at right now, Behold Star of Asgard in her mighty hammer, that's a meta story. It's a 70s version of what we might do. So we can go wherever we want with it. Like we can make her armor magical. We can make the hammer as big as we want it. Whereas my version of the book, where I'm drawing my stuff, I have to be a little more realistic. I can't have her with a giant hammer like that. Or else it would just look funny, right? Like, could you imagine my Star of Asgard with her little mohawk and her little leather jacket with a hammer so big she couldn't pick it up?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Unhinged Entertainment had to go. Mentioned, always a pleasure to see Crager and this campaign. Happy it's getting more backers. Good to see you. Gonna get going. Have a great night, y'all, in chat. Awesome.
Nice. Thank you so much, Jason. I appreciate it. Nice.
Sure. And,
So,
go ahead. You were
go
saying.
ahead. No, go ahead, bud.
No, I was just checking out some of the artwork in the campaign page, and
There you go.
so this is just concept art, right? Ideas that you had for what you were looking for in her, like God mode or whatever, or cosmic mode.
Right. The cosmic version of her, she's lost her right eye because she has sacrificed it to gain knowledge, much like Odin. And she is now blind in her right eye. So she has that very familiar patch that Odin would wear.
Right.
So she's taken some of that mantle on. So I love the best part about her is that she looks like a pro wrestler. Like, I love the pro wrestling mask that she has without her armor. My buddy Jason Gonzalez designed this, and when I sent him all the reference I wanted him to use, he just knocked it out of the park, man. I love his version of the character so much, and it's just because it's just designed so well, and it's super Kirby.
Yeah.
I love that aspect of it.
This is like an old etching.
Right. That's what I wanted to make it look like. So Jason Lennox of Lords of the Cosmos, he does a book. I believe he has some Indiegogo stuff coming up too. So he had reached out to me telling me that he had an Odin piece, and I guess it had never been used, and it was colored, and he sent it to me, and I really liked it. It was really simple. I noticed there wasn't a lot of rendering on the piece, and if I was going to ink it for my book, I had to beef up some of the shadows and lines and stuff. So I told him, I said, hey man, I'd love to have your piece in my book, but I'd like to ink it like it's a Doré type etching. And he was like, well, what do you mean? So I did this fast sketch to kind of show him what I meant. And he was like, oh man, go for it. So I put up my sketch on the campaign, but I'm actually inking that piece to look like that, to be this super detailed Dore-esque, like super fine wood grain looking type of etched piece. It just likened itself to it, and that's what I wanted. So it's Odin on his 8-legged horse with his spear, and his 2 wolves are next to him, and it's a good piece. The 2 wolves are the sun and the moon, and then of course the birds are Hoonin and Moonin, his ravens that go around the world once every day and tell him what's going on in Asgard and throughout the 9 realms.
Yeah, I was staring at all the legs on that horse.
Yeah, it has 8 legs. It's a really cool looking horse, man. I really dug it, and I did very little to it other than add a bunch of shadows and lines. Everything else is him. It's all, and I kind of took some liberties with Odin and changing his costume up a bit, because I have a look that I was going for. So I did change his Odin. But short of that, everything else is him. So he did such a great job, and I just wanted to make it look really nice. So that's why I chose to do it, is it was a really strong piece that needed to be represented.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's Alex Tuez. Alex Tuez drew that. He was the illustrator and art director on Silent Hill and Dark Shadows and Logan. He did concept work for all those movies.
Dang.
He's super, super talented, super, super good. I love his work. He's done 3 or 4 pieces for me in the last 4 or 5 years.
Man, this is cool.
Yeah, he's awesome. That's Erwin Papa. Erwin Papa is a toy designer and sculptor and illustrator. He does work like Takeya and Narasawa. His style can have a very Simon Beasley-esque thing going on with it, and I like it. His work's digital, and he did this for me as a favor. I had called him up, and I had given him a bunch of stuff back in the day, and was like, one day I'm going to ask for a favor, and this is what I asked him for. So when he hooked me up, it didn't take him long to do either, and he knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, that's cool. I like it a lot.
It's a good piece.
Yeah. Now, let's see, going up a little. So were you going to be adding a piece here from Frege?
I will, as soon as he can get to it. He's been in and out of the hospital recently with his hernia surgery. Yep. So he's been super busy and rebuilding his platform after his channel was taken down that one night.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, there's been that. I've been trying not to stress him out about it. So I've been kind of keeping my distance and checking in on him. I gave him a call today, but I figure he's sleeping. I told him it'd be like getting kicked in the stomach by a horse, and
oh man,
and pretty much that's what it's like.
I hope never to experience that, but
you can never tell. You just got to be careful, and you could go pick something up, and your abdominal muscles could split, and that's how a hernia happens. It just splits, and
good gracious,
it is what it is. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And you're also awaiting a piece from Michael Acker, it looks like.
I have it. I've received it. I'm waiting on the final version of it from him.
Cool.
Because he was going to do a couple more things, and then I'm going to go ahead and add it.
All right. So in terms of stretch, go ahead.
Sorry. I'll be changing those stretch goals.
Okay.
So they seem to be a little too lofty for where I'm at. So I'll be readjusting those. I still want to do the Glenn Fabry cover at 15. I still want to do the Joe Benitez cover at 10. I think at 12, I want to do like patches and stuff. So I think we can get in there. And if we can get up to 20, I think I'll color the book and send you guys another copy of the book.
Wow.
So, but you know, that's getting to 20 grand, and
Yeah.
that's $18,000 in 30 days or 40 days with the extra 30 days. So if we could do that, I'll be hooking everybody up.
For sure.
And a Glenn Fabry cover.
Nice.
So these are some of the interiors of the books. So that's a little close-up of the first page. I kind of wanted to show that's traditionally inked also. I inked that by hand before I scanned it and cleaned it up. So that's a nice little piece. That's all digital, that one.
Whoa. Oh man. I'm really into robots, so I'm digging this one.
Nice. I did that based upon a piece I kit bashed and built myself, and I just took a picture of it and drew it. That's all I did.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a nice piece. I like it. That's a double-page spread from the book. That's where the hammer arrives on Earth.
I like how you have an intake on the a VW bug.
Oh yeah, she definitely has a what are they called? A supercharger or a what's it called? It's not called a supercharger. It's called a
I'm blanking.
I blanked on it too. I
think I knew the term at one point, but not anymore. And this was all digitally done too, with that technique you use on the other piece.
Correct. So I physically drew the page on paper, and then I scanned it in the computer, and then I inked it in the computer. So it's digitally inked, but there is a physical page of it. So I do have a physical page. I can show it to you if you want to see it.
Oh, sure.
You want to see it?
Yeah.
Let me get it. Hold on. Okay. Well, let's hope you can see this because it's all pencil, right? So,
Dang. Look at that.
so that's
Whoa.
what my original pencils looked like when I was doing this.
Uh-huh.
So I hope you can see it.
Yeah, I can now.
Okay.
Now that it's focused in more and closer. Yeah.
So let's look at that car.
Oh, that's cool.
Right. So I have physical pages.
Yeah.
You know, and they're all hand drawn, all nice, and then I just inked them. Come on. There we go.
Teddy bear at the gun.
Yeah, it's a teddy bear. She's talking to the teddy bear during this scene because there's nobody out there with her, and you know the hammer just crashed and she thinks it's a satellite, so she's talking to the teddy bear. She's like, do you think we should go and see like what's come down and crashed? Yeah, I think we should. And Like she's talking to this stupid teddy bear, and she takes it everywhere with her.
Oops. Oh, is it too zoomed in?
Oh, it's zoomed in, huh?
Well,
So yeah,
I try to go in more.
now that looks good, man.
Whoa.
So you can see better. Perfect. Oh, look at that. Nice. I even do all my own hand lettering. That was me hand lettering the piece. So all the stuff is essentially given a million and one love. You can go in there and see every blade of grass.
Gee.
I literally, I don't know. I don't even know how long I spent inking that. I think I spent like 12 hours or something or more, like inking it.
Holy.
Yeah, it was a lot. And I even ended up adding that panel after the fact. This panel, the one up top, right there, the one of her face, I added that after the fact. Like I thought this panel needed something, so I ended up having to add that.
Cool.
Yeah, it came out nice. So there is a real plus side to doing digital comics. If you ever have to add something, it makes it really easy.
Yeah.
And that's my first page.
All right. So we got that earlier.
That's a character sketch of Star. I just was kind of getting used to inking digitally at the time.
On her back, is that a bow stick or is it a samurai sword?
It's a sword. It's a samurai sword. And this first page is the hammer coming from Asgard towards Earth. And it obviously has run into a planet and busted part of it doing so. This page was physically drawn. There is an original for it. And then I went in and added some stuff digitally to kind of make it a little more like the digital links I was doing. So I needed it to look a little more just like the digital stuff. And how I was able to achieve that was the splatter. All the splattery effects that give it that glowing halo type look, I was able to do that on the computer.
Wow.
So that page was physically drawn also. I inked the whole thing by hand. There's very little digital work on it except for some splatter. So there is an original page for that also.
Yeah. So many freaking details. I love highly detailed work.
Oh yeah, super detailed, man. I totally like to show you everything. Like I try not to skimp on doing, making something look right. Even if I have to go get reference or make reference, it's worth it.
So this is a double page work in progress spread?
Correct. It's almost done. It's I have to finish a few backgrounds and adjust a few things, but it's almost done.
Wow.
Some things are left out intentionally also.
Yeah.
So like I didn't want to give away certain things or whatever. My favorite part about this piece is the onomatopoeia at the bottom, the actual boom that it's lightning destroying the building she's in. So it literally reduced it to rubble.
That's so cool.
I love that scene. I love the lightning coming through on that boom. It's my favorite. I enjoyed doing it.
I like this whole page.
Yeah, it's a good
Uh,
page.
The contrast of the foreground and the solid blacks, and yeah, and then the streak of the lightning.
Right.
Cool.
That crazy ass hammer.
Yeah. And of course the boom lettering with the house being ripped to shreds.
Right. Just collapsing on top of them.
Yeah.
And then I knew I had to show the hammer, like show it in a way that solidified what it was. Like I wanted people to, when I think of hammer, like the word hammer, I think of Mjolnir. So, and when I say the word hammer, I think of that hammer. So I wanted to have it like be that symbol. Like, so by having a page like this where I show you the actual hammer, what's inscribed on the hammer, it very much is me solidifying it, trying to be like, well, this is Thor's hammer. This is the hammer that people are gonna see as Thor's hammer. So I want it to be symbolic of it, and that's why I've pointed it out. Like literally did a whole. And this page right here is literally my shit. Sorry, it's my credits page.
Oh, all right.
So this is my credit page for Hammer.
Nice.
Yeah, I have yet to put the credits on there.
Oh yeah, of course.
But that's my credit page.
Man, this is intricate detail in the carvings, the engraving.
Right.
That's neat.
And it's goats. They're goats and a dragon on there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what it is. It's goats and it's either goats and a dragon or goats and a wolf.
Okay. I thought it was just like a fancy detailed design or something.
Yeah, it is. But if you look close enough, you'll notice that the shapes look like goats.
Gotcha.
And dragons and or wolves.
Sweet. And then this is Loki.
That is Loki. That is Loki.
That's
absolutely
a very cool take on him.
I appreciate it. Yeah, he's definitely a trickster. So my take on him has something to do with that fact. So, you know, he is what he is, and you'll all find out if we can get farther along what he really is.
Man, this is a neat piece too.
Thank you.
They ain't go in the detail of his armor. Gasser, Loki's right hand man.
So typically, Gasser runs most of the day-to-day operations, and he has a group of people he runs with. Another one is named Not, N-A-U-T, like Juggernaut.
All right.
So there's a character named Not that runs around with him, and then there'll be another character that hangs out with them. Typically, they're running around doing Loki's bidding. You know, if he wants the hammer, they're going to be the ones looking for it and letting him know after the fact. Gasser, though, we don't know what sex he or she is. Like, he constantly wears that mask, or she constantly wears that mask. So at some point, you may find out that Gasser is either female or male. But in most cases, she will be wearing that mask the whole time.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, depending on, not that it matters like who's under the mask, you know, it only would matter if it was a decision that that person was making that would be out of character, right? So I plan on having a few things that make you question stuff about the characters in my book, or who they are, or if they're male, if they're female, why would they make certain decisions? Why would they, you know, stuff like that. So in a way, putting a mask on something allows me to kind of explore that aspect of it.
Sweet.
So that's kind of fun.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
And then, yes, a Jotun. So there are giants on Midgard, but they're not giants like ice giants from Jotunheim or something like that. These are genetically altered humans that either were radiated after the war or had some issues, and they've grown giant in size, but they're normal humans that have taken on that mantle of what we call giants on Midgard or Earth. So this one in particular has kind of like a Jason face mask with a little Jason chevron above the eye. I love the Friday the 13th movies, so this was kind of like my dedication to them, or my little thing about them, or about Jason from Friday the 13th. And I just happened to make him into a giant, and he has a respirator that's attached to one of his lungs. He has some issues. He's missing an arm and has a giant mace attached to it. So that's another issue he has. His name's Big John. So he's one of Loki's acolytes. And at some point, Star is forced to deal with him. And this was right after she received the hammer. Literally, she picked up the hammer. The bird said Jotun, and she turns around and says giants. And it's standing there like ready to pummel her. Like that look on her face in the first panel is her saying the word giants. And then she turns around, and there he is.
Man.
Yeah.
I saw a glimpse of this in the intro trailer.
Yeah.
And my eye was drawn to his crotch area.
Right, his little. Sorry. It's because she's so dark. Like, that's a sketch of that page. So that's what my sketches look like before I ink a page.
Oh, okay.
So that's me kind of breaking down and finalizing what something will kind of look like before I end up going in and really defining it and making it solid. So this is a very tight sketch page. As you can tell from the second panel, the back of Star, like where we see her, even though it's drawn fairly well, it's kind of loose and sketchy. Right. Whereas the giant, he's almost perfect. Like, I can go in and probably do a few different things to him and clean it up, but I'm going to end up going in and re-inking the whole page.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, it's fun, man. It goes quick. I like digitally inking. It's because it is so quick that it's fun. So
wow.
I'm down. I'm down with it.
That's pretty sweet. Then we got Oh, since it's kind of a rough, the
Right.
areas where you scratched out with like a black marker or whatever,
Right.
is that going to be mostly solid, or is it going to be like gradations, or are you going to?
I'll do what I did on that cover we were talking about to it.
All right.
So I'll add a bunch of splatter to it, and then I'll add lines coming out of it, and then I'll define all the lightning coming off of the hammer.
Cool.
And I'll probably have to mess with the giant's shadows, because all the light will be coming off that hammer. So we'll see. We'll see what it looks like in the end.
Right. Man, sweet.
So the Dragar, sentient robots of yesteryear. Nice. That's from the Joe Benitez cover.
Oh,
So I did a close-up of his cover to show you what the Dragar look like. And he drew them from my sculptures.
oh, wow. Well, did you have to send him the photographs you took of them?
Yeah, I sent him reference.
All right. That's sweet. 3 sculptures available in the Drager edition per Drager sculpture selected in that order that I made them in. Paint schemes not final.
Right.
Let's see here. What is this red piece here? Is that a sword or something?
The red is actually cloth. She has a cloak that she's wearing.
Gotcha.
So I can get her real quick. Let's see. So it's a cloak, and I can move said cloak.
Oh, all right.
It's been painted, obviously, and it goes around the piece. It wraps around her head and neck, and all that wonderful design work on there.
So she's got like a sickle in one of the arms, right?
She does. She has a sickle, and on the other hand, I have to throw that on her other hand. But yes, there's that sickle.
Oh, wow. Oh, vicious.
Right.
Nice.
So she's a fun character. And at her base, there's a lot of little extra parts down here.
Oh, all right.
So I realize it's hard to see on the thread or on the camera with me moving it around all crazy.
Yeah.
So nice. Yeah, I have lots of little things. So yeah, she's wearing a cloak. I wanted to do one with a cloak.
And then the one in the middle is the one that was already picked up today, right?
Yeah, that was the very first one I ever did.
Yeah, the one with the claw.
So Yodam got that.
Yeah, heck yeah. That's really sweet.
It was very sweet. And then we're down to the head of Loki.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I backed this. Let me I better double check. Make sure I'm not,
you backed it. You backed that one, bud.
make sure I'm not smoking butt crack or something.
No, I remember. You backed the head of Loki.
Yeah, because I was real excited about that possibility of getting a sculpture, and I didn't want to miss out there.
Well, you're definitely getting a sculpture, my friend.
Yeah,
So
sweet. And like I said, I love the addition of the marbles.
Right. Which will be castings. I mean, when I do cast it, they won't look like marbles anymore. It'll look like clear plastic that's round, perfectly round.
Wow.
And you'll be able to paint them any color you want at that point.
Oh, interesting.
Right. Yeah, like those marbles will be casted with the actual sculpture.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I think I would be too embarrassed to try and uh, do the paint job myself, for fear it'll suck.
You know,
There's a chance I might just leave it as is.
and you can. I most likely will cast them in kind of a gray color, anyways. So you'll be able to get it. You won't get it white like that one piece I showed you. Like, you see how this is white?
Right.
It'll be like this. It'll be this color. So most likely like a light gray. And so painting it won't be an issue. It'll at least have a little bit of color to it, and it won't get all blown out being white. Right?
Right.
Okay. So yeah, I'll probably do it like this color.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Let's see here. Dooba-dooba-doo, dooba-dooba-dooba-dooba-doo. Another angle.
Nice.
How tall is this again?
Which one?
The
one I sold?
Well, sorry, Loki bust.
Ooh, the Loki with the horns?
Yeah.
Ooh, let's measure it and find out. Okay. 7 inches. At 7 1/4 inches at the top of the horns.
Wow.
So from the base, it's like 4 3/4 to the top of his head. So if we're looking at it, it's from here to here is 4 1/4 inches.
All
The
right.
top of this from here to the top of the point is 7+ inches.
Wow.
So it's a big piece. It's
Cool.
big enough. It's going to come in 4 separate pieces. So what will happen is you'll be able to take the horns, put them in the head, and then you'll be able to put the head on the base. So there'll be keys to make it so that you can just slip everything into it and it fits perfect.
Oh, okay. Including
Okay.
the horn, so you know precisely how it fits in, and, as opposed to one looking like it's off from the other horn.
Correct.
Cool.
Correct.
Yeah, I know in some kits and pieces that come in multiple parts, that rather than a round peg, they use a square peg, so it's hard to screw it up.
That's right. And I'll be using square pegs.
Nice.
So you won't have any problems. You'll be able a monkey will be able to put it together.
Nice. All orders come with additional perks coming soon. Joe Weems Loki piece.
Right?
Wow. Look at that. Oh shit. Mark Beecham's painted piece, 8x10.
That's right. So you're still on me right now.
Oh, whoops. Whoopsie.
That's okay.
So let me see. All right, so we were looking at the other angles of the Loki.
Of the Loki, yeah.
And then
the Mark Beecham piece. That piece is a great piece. Mark Beecham was a great artist. I love his work. That's what my Dragar looked like before they're all rusted out and everything. That's Yep.
So that's. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
That's what they look like before 1,000 years previous to this. So they were women mostly, and or they're AI, so they're not cyborgs, they're not human. Most of them are robots, like straight robots. They just happen to look female.
Wow. That is a cool action pose.
You like it?
Yeah. I'll admittedly say that I am disturbed at the feet because this is like
Pointy toes.
yeah, based on the old Chinese foot bindings.
Right.
Where they bound up the feet and the toes because they believed it would be more attractive for women
Yes.
to have
Yes.
tiny feet. And
Yes.
every time I see that kind of stuff, it makes me cringe because if you look at footage from people, from women who had to undergo this craziness,
Uh-huh.
their feet look absolutely disgusting.
Oh yeah, it ruins their feet. So
Yeah.
absolutely. Oh, I know. My mother was actually born in Japan.
Was she really?
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm obviously not Japanese, but my mother was born in Japan on a American Army base
Uh-huh.
back in the 50s. And she, growing up, always had an obsession with the Japanese. And so she would always talk about it and show it. And one of her things was the foot binding stuff. She had like medical books full of foot bindings.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah. And I used to go through her medical books and look at this stuff. So yeah, some of the stuff involved, like foot bindings and foot pointing and stuff like that, making yourself taller so your calves stick out more, adding more form to that leg. That's a beautiful thing. The elongation of a leg like that just looks beautiful to me, and I understand why. And my mother obviously was interested in that stuff when I was a kid. She used to work at a laboratory when I was a kid, and they always had like weird crap at the laboratory, like two-headed babies and shit.
Yay.
So every once in a while, I'd get to see like a 15-foot tapeworm or something, or weird crap like that. And abnormal things. But yes, foot binding was one of those things that my mother was interested in.
Wow. But she never actually had it done on herself.
No. She had moved by the time she was 3. She lived in Hawaii.
Oh.
After Japan, and she lived there until she was 7 or 8, and then she came to California after that.
Wow.
So it wasn't, or she went to Florida and then went to California after that. So she grew up pretty much all over the world, but she began her life in Japan and then to Hawaii afterwards, as most people that were born in the 50s who had military families. Essentially that would have been around the time of Korea, when my grandpa was in Korea, which would have been after Korea. Sorry, 40. When did Korea start? 52 or 48?
I suck at history.
Okay. So yeah, my grandpa was in Korea briefly, and my grandmother lived on base in Japan, in Okinawa. So yeah, so that was interesting and cool. I love being able to tell people that my mother was born in Japan, because obviously I'm not Japanese. So that shit's funny to me.
Oh man. Yeah.
And she's a Japanese citizen because she was born there.
Oh.
So she has Japanese citizenship also, on top of being an American.
So she's got dual citizenship.
Correct.
Nice. Did you have a fun childhood being able to check out the lab every now and again and see this funky stuff?
I did. See, I always grew up with a very open family, so I was very much whatever I was interested in, they would let me go do or see or whatever. And my mom was always into weird medical abnormalities and stuff like that. So whenever we'd go to the lab or something like that, it never bothered me to see stuff like that because I'm an artist. I like weird stuff. So it was always entertaining to me to be able to see these things. I never thought of them as gross. I just thought of them as like kind of cool ways of learning new stuff. So that was always cool to be able to go to the lab and mom be like, here, look at this 15-foot tapeworm, or look at this 2-headed fetus, or look at this, whatever. Like, look at this fetus with its organs on the outside of its body.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And they would, have these things. So it was funny. It's weird growing up like that, but it doesn't seem abnormal to me. It just kept me open to understanding more about biology and the physicalness of people. Like we're all built weird, sometimes genetics doesn't fully cooperate with life, and in results of that type of stuff, you end up with things that have 2 heads or 4 arms or 2 abdomens, or you just get these weird abnormalities. And I don't see them as being gross. I see them as being like part of what nature is, and mutation is part of that.
Did you?
And it never bothered me.
Did you guys visit those? Some cities have the Ripley's Believe It or Not exhibits.
Right.
Those
We had an exhibit here, like right down the road, that was the body exhibit, and it was all the plasticine bodies that had been splayed open and filled with plastic, like injected with plastic. So the real bodies that have had a waxed plasticine type thing done to them where it hardens and solidifies all the muscles and everything else. And then they dissect them and kind of open them up and flay them open.
Whoa.
And yeah, I mean, a few years back, we had a giant museum right down the road, and I went to the body exhibit, and I got to see fetuses, zygotes that started out as little tiny nothings and then developed into fetuses. It was cool, man. It was cool seeing like 10 like little developed, you could see all their little veins and everything. It's amazing. And I love that stuff. And I thought it would be cool to after I saw the fetuses, because they're so translucent and you can see through them, I thought it would be cool to actually sculpt one to see if you can get that transparent likeness if you sculpted one. But I never was able to make it look as good as the one I saw in there. Like that's the goal, right? To reproduce life in plastic as realistic as you can, and being able to see through the body, and that it had this transparentness to it, and that there's some things you just can't work out. Which I suppose I could have put some more time into it and messed with it, but it seemed like a lot of work just for something that would impress me, right?
I think the closest you can get to achieving something like that is basically doing what they've done for those. They've got these. I don't know if you really call them kits or these science things, where you see you have like the clear exterior of the human body, and then you open it up like you would a book, and then inside you'll have the
parts.
Yeah, the parts, all the organs. You take it out, you'll see the endocrine system. You take those out, and you'll see the skeleton, and that kind. And they also have versions where I think you've got the human head, where you can see that remove the brain and stuff like that, and the brain stem, and see the skull and things like that.
Right. Yeah, I just thought it would be cool if I could reproduce something that was so organic and real. And I suppose actually I probably can, but it just, once again, the only person it's impressing is me at this point. And I just kind of wanted to see if I could do it. If you get the right stuff, it can be done. Special effects guys do it all the time.
Yeah, the materials are key.
It's the materials are what's important when you're using this stuff. So nice. Hey, Wyman, we're going on 3 hours now.
Holy cow!
Yeah,
you're right.
We're pushing it. I might have to get some food in me, man.
Oh, wow! You haven't eaten yet?
No, I've been busy, and I had to go run an errand before I came and did this. So I literally was like, ran an errand, was 10 minutes out from being on here, and then jumped on here, and we've been here 3 hours, and I've been drinking whiskey.
Oh no! Yeah, you gotta get something on your stomach.
I should probably get some food in me at this point.
I guess we'll have to do a part 3.
Really? If you want to do a part 3, we could do a part 3. So
yeah. So
why don't we shoot for when we start the campaign the next 30 days or something?
All right, that'll work. Yeah, definitely keep in touch. Let's just take a quick look here.
Okay.
This, let's see, 2652 at 40. All right, 32 at 41.
Wow, we got another one. So who was that? Let me look.
This is kind of cheating because I know it was me.
Oh, it was you?
Yeah, because
you backed me again?
Yeah, I just realized I wanted something else.
What did you want, buddy?
You'll see. Well, all right. So as you can see by the jump, I basically went for the second of 3 Dragers.
Are you kidding me, man?
No. So that's that. But I think it's too. I think it would be unfair for me to include myself in the raffle. So I think we should just give it up for. Oh my gosh! It was. What's his name again?
Yoda.
Israel.
Yoda Darkstar.
Yeah. So Yoda was the only other person who had a chance to back during the stream.
Right.
So I think it's fair to award Yoda with the
with the Loki head.
With the prize.
So why don't I do this for you, buddy? Like, since you decided to go all in, Jesus Christ. I know you bought some art from me. No, you got the Loki head, right?
Yeah, I went with the Loki campaign.
Okay, well,
because I wanted the Loki head too.
So now you got a Loki head, and you can choose. I'll let you choose. Do you want this one, or do you want the one with the satellite on its back? So do you want? So this would be number 2, but let me go grab the other one. So, man, Wyman, I can't believe you did that. So this is the one with the satellite on its back. Are you still there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can see you. So this is the one that has the most stuff on it. So it's definitely crazy. So it's up to you. I'll let you choose between 2 or 3. So 2, 3.
I like 2 because of the cloak, but I like 3 because of the freaking big satellite, and it looks like a feat of wonder and balance. The fact that he's got so much, he's so top heavy yet he won't fall over.
Right.
So
right.
I'd have, and although the one with the cloak is the second in the line, meaning it will probably be worth more,
Right.
I'll have to go with the satellite one.
Okay, so the satellite one is yours, and on top of that, I'll draw something for you too, buddy, and send it your way. Is there anything specific that I can draw for you, Wyman? I know that you just spent a bunch of money.
Jeez, that's awful kind of you. I have no clue where to start.
Well, why don't I'll let you think about it, and you can choose and let me know, and we'll take care of you, okay?
Is there a way you could do like a piece that has Star fighting one of these dragon, like an action scene?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course I can.
All right.
Would you like? I'll do that for you.
All right, I appreciate it.
Cool. I can totally do that for you, my friend. Not a problem. So I'll make sure that I get you a nice 11 by 17 illustration, penciled and inked, original, physically drawn, not digitally, of Star fighting a Dragar.
Sweet.
And hook you up with that. And we'll make sure we get you your Head of Loki. We'll make sure you get your Dragar Satellite Edition. That leaves one Dragar left, man.
Yeah.
Wow, we're getting closer and closer. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. You, wow, really? Wow. I'm shocked, and you're still on me currently. There you are. I want to see you. I can't believe it, man. I can't believe it. I'm beside myself. I can't believe you chose to do that.
I try and put my my support and my money where my mouth is.
Well, you sure as heck did, buddy, and I owe you for that. Okay.
I'm just trying to do my part to help creators realize their vision and do, get out there and get promoted and get supported and all that cool stuff. And at the same time, get some cool stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'll make sure that we get you a bunch of cool stuff. Okay, bud?
I appreciate it. Yotam Dark Star is cheering. Yotam is the by default winner of the raffle.
That's correct. He is the default winner of the raffle. He gets a Head of Loki with a base, and coming along with his Dragar also. And he has some art coming his way. So I'll make sure to throw in a few extra little things in there for you guys. So I have a few other things floating around here that I can throw in. So it's you know what, tonight 3 hours is definitely been worth it at this point.
Hey,
and
I definitely appreciate you and everyone in the audience for joining us. Can you want to take a moment and tell everyone how you can be found on social media?
Sure. You can find me on Facebook under Jason Alistair Crowley Crager, or you can find me on Indiegogo under Hammer Comic, or you can find me on Instagram under Crager Jason, or you can find me on Twitter at Vonderabo. Also, make sure to like and share and subscribe to WyzGyz Entertainment. Get down on that, smash that frickin' button. And they're making dreams come true here. So this is a great stream. I'm super exhausted. I really am. I'm really tired.
Yeah,
And-
without any food on your stomach, I bet.
Yeah, it wears down, man. It wears down on the old man. So anyways, right now I can't believe we're so much closer. We're $1,900 away from making this happen.
Oh yeah.
So
We're gonna make it happen somehow.
thank you, Wyman. You know what? I'd give you a big wet kiss if I could. Like, just a big one right on your cheek, buddy. Right there. Mwah. So big wet kiss for you.
Goodness, me oh my.
So
You can find me on Twitter at WyzGyz Tweets, on Twitch under WyzGyz Twitches, and on YouTube under WyzGyz Entertainment right here, right now. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. When you mark the bell for notifications, please mark all notifications so you're
Right.
sure never to miss a video or a stream.
Right.
I want to take a moment to thank you all in the audience and everyone who watches on replay. Do not miss out on this book. It's freaking cool. Check it out for yourself. Go to the page that we've been sharing all night.
yes, thank you so much.
Let me see. I'll share it once again. Oh, where'd it go? All right, come on. Let's see here. Oh, I'll just.
So close. We're getting so close. I love it.
Hammer, back at now, back at once, back at twice, back at three times a lady.
Yeah. Keep backing it. And the closer we get, the more I'll give you. If you do back more than once, know that I will be coming to your house to give you a big kiss.
Yeah, big kisses all around.
Big kisses and hugs and love, everybody. I'm super stoked, man. I can't believe you did that.
Believe it.
Yeah. I mean, I have to believe it. Wyman, my friend, I really appreciate it. We're gonna have to do this again.
Oh hell yeah! By all means, yeah, for sure.
And we'll hit you up. Go ahead, Chew.
Oh, I was just about to wind things up, close things down. Do you have anything else to say before we quit for the night?
No, I love you guys. Thank you so much. You're making it possible for me to not have to fucking go work at fucking Michael's again. So I don't want to have to go back into the real world. I want to draw comics. I've always wanted to draw comics. It's time that I do this for the rest of my life.
One quick follow-up question that I forgot to ask earlier.
Sure.
Since you've been in the comic industry so long, did you do like some creators do and start your own YouTube channel and talk about the craft, do drawing videos, things like that?
Nope, I haven't done any of that. I just started recently doing that stuff.
All right.
I didn't even think about that stuff being a form of revenue or any of that. Like, I get that people like my art and that they like to look at stuff, but I never thought it would be helpful to other people.
Yeah.
But it can be in this day and age, I guess, and maybe I need to take that seriously.
Well, it's something to consider, because by having another avenue, even if you just stick with like Instagram, for example, and do share your artwork or share short little drawing videos on there, but I think YouTube's more effective personally, but I could be wrong. It helps you establish a follower base, a fan base, and then people who know you from your comics can follow you on your channel, and then you can build a user, well, not a user base, but kind of like a fan base, a follower base, and that group of people can follow you to your various campaigns on Indiegogo on those projects and help you back those and bring those to fruition as well.
So you're saying I should probably do a bunch of art videos and stuff and start posting them on YouTube?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, we're still going Nova Blast. So we're just wrapping it up right now.
Yep.
We've jumped almost $1,000, so $800 in the past 3 hours, and it's all because of Wyman and Yodam Darkstar. So I appreciate it. You guys are the best. And Nova Blast, please check out my project. See if it's anything you're interested in.
Yeah, by all means, definitely back it. So we're ending the night on 3,082 USD, which is a 61% of $5,000 fixed goal.
So close.
We've got
So
nine days left of funding, so we're shooting to hit that goal and exceed it before then. And Nova Blast is awesome. We'll get you on Richard's open mic show soon.
Oh, great. Yeah. Send me links or whatever I need to do, and I'd be more than glad to do it. Thank you, Nova Blast.
Right on. All
Perfect.
right. So we'll bring this to a close. You got to get something to eat. Over here, it's past midnight my time.
Oh, man.
But I had a chance to eat dinner, so it's different here. So again, thank you to our special guest, J.Crager.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Check out and back his awesome project. Well worth it. And check out the sculptures you have an opportunity to get before they run out. Thank you to all the awesome people in chat and everyone who watches it on replay. We will see you next time, and we are ending the broadcast.